If your emotional health is not good, if you're been going through some rough things and you're just brushing things under the carpet, it can affect your health. It can color and it can basically distort your view of your life. Hello, this is Lorraine, and welcome to Healthy Living, Spirit, Soul, and Body. So I am here in Holmdel Park in Holmdel, New Jersey, and it is one of my favorite places to come to after church on a Sunday and just take a little walk and just enjoy the beauty of this park. It's one of my favorite places to come to, actually, to walk. Let's face it, how many times do we let time slip away from us and we forget to enjoy life and smell the roses? We keep thinking that success is arriving safely at death. We may not consciously think that, but that's how we live, in survival mode, and we miss actually living and living in the moment. Think for a moment how much better you would feel if you were able to just turn your brain off and notice the beauty in ordinary things. How much better would you feel if you took advantage of beautiful weather and went for a walk, even for 10 minutes? So today we're going to talk about living to enjoy life and not survive life. So I knew someone about 20 years ago that was clinically depressed, and I know that that's different between just having a down day or getting in a rut, but he was clinically depressed, and he would always find a route that he could run for at least a half hour. And I don't think it was only the fact that it would increase his serotonin level, but it was also so that he could just get outside, that he could feel the wind blowing in his face, so that he could enjoy the beauty of the area. There's so many good things about enjoying life and just getting outside. So I'm just gonna talk about a few things that you can do to help your basic emotional health. Let's face it, if your emotional health is not good, if you're bitter, if you're been going through some rough things and you're just brushing things under the carpet, so many different things, but it can affect your health. It can color and it can basically distort your view of your life. Let's face it, say for instance, if you're feeling lonely, just the idea of feeling lonely can make you feel like nobody wants to be your friend. Dwelling on that can affect your view of relationships in general. So your emotions should not have that much power over you. And really, let's face it, throughout life, we need to find a way to be emotionally healthy, and really to be in charge of our life and to be in charge of our emotions. And the funny thing is, when you're in charge of your emotions doesn't mean that you're ignoring them, okay? It's putting them in their right place. The Bible says that you should be angry and sin not. So in other words, just being angry is not a sin. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's how you deal with the anger, or how you deal with any other emotion, how you deal with feeling depressed, or how you deal with feeling rejected. So what can we do to react in a healthier way in our life? So I'm just going to talk about a few things, basic things that you can do to help your overall emotional health, okay? And as I mentioned, don't put your emotions under the carpet. Emotions aren't good or bad, they just are. And because you're a human being, you're a normal human being, you're going to have emotions, okay? It's just a matter of not allowing them to control you. And so what are some things that we can do so that we have better emotional health? So the first thing that we can do is we can make sure that we're not worrying. and we're not allowing our thoughts and our worries and our concerns to overwhelm us and consume us. And I know that in a lot of ways that might seem an impossible task. So I'm just going to share a few tips that I might be able to give you to help you in that area, okay? The first thing is there's what's called the brain dump, and it might not be a bad idea, and I know that a lot of people talk about this, is in the morning or right before you go to sleep to write down, as you know, don't spend hours and hours doing this, but to write down things that you're concerned about, things that are on your mind, things that maybe you're angry about, whatever, and write it down. You know, give yourself maybe 15 minutes to do that, just so everything that you're concerned about in your mind is out on paper. And it kind of helps you look at things in an objective sense, okay? So that way when you go to sleep, you have a more peaceful sleep. And another thing, I heard Ed Milet say recently about worry, and this is really profound. So he said that, think about it, if you're worried about something that may happen, and maybe it's getting to the point where it's consuming you, that you're thinking about it all the time, you're imagining what would happen if a certain thing happened, and how you would react, or what would be the end result, all these crazy things. And I mean, if you're going through this whole scenario, how many times? 45 times, 50 times? So, and it may not even happen. So we need to realize that the stuff that we're thinking about and the stuff that's going on in our head, think about it. If that event actually does happen, not only will you have suffered 45 or 50 times thinking about what could possibly happen, then when it actually happens, you're actually living through it, and then you're suffering again. So he had a really profound thought. He said, why allow yourself to worry about something, first of all, that may not even happen? And even if it does happen, you will have to suffer, but it would only be that one time rather than the 50 times that you would have thought about it ahead of time. So be aware of what you're thinking about. And, really, you need to cast those cares on the Lord. You need to do brain dumps if that's what it takes, but you need to get those thoughts and those concerns out of your mind. Maybe it will mean talking to somebody so that you can get an objective voice to help you see things maybe a little bit clearer and in a better way, so you're not worried about them. As I mentioned earlier, that you're here to enjoy life, not survive life, okay? And you have to get out of thinking and living in a survival mode, because, my goodness, there's so many things to be thankful for. There's so many things that we would miss if we're concerned about the wrong things. So many things that we would miss if we're worried, if we're not even taking time to smell the roses, okay? So it helps to be aware of that and really think about it. If you're not aware of it, you're not going to be able to stop it, and life is just going to pass you by, and you're going to miss all the things that you could be enjoying. Another thing that you could do is, this may sound really simplistic, but to try new things. I heard some really interesting insights about this, but how many times do you feel, well, life is just passing me by, time is going faster these days, my goodness, where did September go, or where did 2024 go? But the thing is that there is something that can slow time down, and they've done studies on this, but what slows time down is actually trying new things. Because think about it, when you're a child and you're growing up, time doesn't go by that fast, because every day is new. You're learning, everything is a new adventure, everything is a new experience. And sometimes as we get older, we get in routines, and routines aren't always healthy. So something to think about, but to get out there and get out of your comfort zone and try new things. Maybe go on a cruise. Maybe you've never done that before. Maybe start a new hobby to just start your brain going and start enjoying life. A lot of times when we get in a routine, it's sometimes a recipe for depression. So trying new things is another way to improve your emotional health, okay? And then really think about it. The other thing that's important is when you're trying new things, to meet new people, because that's also going to help your emotional health. And lastly, it's important to get out and smell the roses, as I mentioned earlier. This may sound really silly, but get your phone and just go walking outside and take pictures of ordinary things. Find beauty in your surroundings. Go to museums, go to places where you can start just appreciating life, appreciate the fall colors, appreciate people or music, go to concerts. You know, there's so many things that you can do once you get out of the house. And really, in a lot of ways, staying in the house and staying in a routine is another recipe for depression and getting in a rut. So there's so much more. You know, life really is to be enjoyed, not survived. So I'm just putting this video out there today because it's such a beautiful day. Enjoy your life. Find ways to enjoy life and not survive life. So I hope you enjoyed this video today. I hope it gave you something to think about, okay? And sometimes the most important thing is that we become aware of certain patterns that we've gotten ourselves into. Once we're aware, then we can do things to change things, okay? So if you enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get notified every time I put a new video out. And always remember that life is to be enjoyed, not survived, okay? Enjoy the weather, enjoy the fall season, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye now.